Well, hello there. I've already prepped my face today with the Village Barber shaving oil. I let that soak in for a few moments while I was lathering my brush. My soap is going to be a discontinued puck of Williams Menthol Mug Soap. Old formula, I believe. No longer made. There you go. I guess, well, it must not be too old. It's got the bar pricing code on it, which was introduced around 1977. And the company in their, where their address is listed here, I don't know, you'll be able to see that, but they have a zip code, which is what we call our postal code, which was introduced in 1968. So we know it's after 68, and we know it was made after 1977 or so. But anyway, I've already lathered that in my pretty little scuttle here. And I've lathered my brush, excuse me, which is the, it's the Yaqi Sagrada Familia brush. I've had good luck with this brush. I thought I would keep using it. Let me go ahead and wet this a little bit. Not too much, but hopefully this will make a good lather. I hope you're all doing well out there. I hope your week and everything is going well. Oh yeah. Yes, oops, I am still flinging water everywhere, but pretty good lather. Apparently soap does not really expire. Although I've seen like laundry soaps and things that had expiration dates on the bottle or the box, depending on what kind of laundry soap you get, powdered or liquid. But yeah, but I think that stuff will last a long time too. Just might have to shake it up a little bit, especially the liquid after a while, but this is pretty nice. I'm liking this. Menthol, am I getting a menthol scent? Is there any of that left in there? Yeah, there is some. And I'm feeling it more than smelling it. I guess I'm not sure. There might be a little bit of a eucalyptus scent or something, but I feel a little menthol that has lasted in there. I don't know how much menthol it originally had in it, but I guess menthol wouldn't expire either, would it? I don't know, but this, by the way, is my razor. It is a Simplex 3-piece razor, Bakelite except for the cap, which is metal, and which still has some of the original, most of the original black paint on it. This is a military razor, and I believe they were black because they didn't want a glint shining off them, or as little as possible when they were out in the field fighting the Nazis or whatever. And in there I have a blade that is also carbon steel black, I guess. It's painted black, maybe. On its third use will be a Simplex double-edged blade, which came with the razor. I have the original box and packaging for the razor. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wet this. And we'll do pass number 1 with the grain. Now the paint wears off these caps after a while, just through daily use, or in my case, just having it in the rotation with a bunch of other razors. But I saw online someone had taken some metal polish or something, a buffer, both, I guess, and polished one of these caps so that it was shiny, because underneath the black paint it's actually kind of dull it's a dull metal finish unless you polish it, and that kind of goes against the idea of a military razor and not getting a glint from the sun out in the field during the daytime. But on the other hand, it looked pretty, and I kind of half-heartedly did that with some metal polish and just a rag or paper towel to another razor I have that has that kind of metal cap, and it was turning out nice. I didn't GI it, I guess you could say. Well, that kind of sounds like a contradiction in terms, but I didn't polish it perfectly. I just wanted to see if I could make it shine, and yes, you can make those dull metal caps shine underneath the black paint after it wears off, or if you take the paint off. Okay, excuse me. I really need to get a Dremel, one of those little drill thingies, or a drill, something that I can put a little buffer attachment on. If I want to really polish up some of the old razors I have. On its third use, this blade is shaving about like it did on the first use. It's, oh, I don't know how to put it, a little scratchy, a little rough, but not too bad. And I had flipped the blade after the second use. Yes, I'm a blade flipper sometimes. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't seem to make any difference whether you flip a blade or not. Got this Williams Menthol Soap, which I'll show you again. Got that from a vendor on eBay, and there's still ones of these on there. With shipping and everything, I think it cost me about $15. Actually, the shipping was free. So I believe it was 16 and change, and free shipping, or shipping figured in. I saw the same thing on there. Somebody had it for 37 bucks. Looked like older packaging, and somebody had another one that was about the same price. It was like $14 and a couple of dollars shipping, something like that. It was about the same price, actually a little bit more if you bought that, but that's about how much you can expect to spend on there for one of those. Okay, well, excuse me. This razor, rather mild, because I have slightly less than a day's growth here. Although I can hear some audio feedback. Hopefully you can hear that too. Nice lather on this old menthol soap, old Williams menthol soap, that is. I had also read online that somebody had contacted the company and were told over the telephone that, or maybe in a letter or something, that the Williams formula had never changed, but I find that hard to believe. I know I've had trouble getting new pucks of Williams to lather. I guess they do have some slickness to them, but the lather is a little bit problematic for a lot of us that have used the newer pucks. And they only have the blue and white now, the regular. They don't sell the menthol anymore that I know of. Not here in the States anyway, of which I'm aware. This will probably be the last use on this blade here. It's getting a little tuggy, but I can deal with it. Okay, I'm going to pop out, pop back in, freshly lathered for that second pass across the grain. We had a lot of rain here today. It had rain yesterday, and I think we're expecting some rain tomorrow. I planted some seeds outside. I hope that they germinate, but it's been only 3 or 4 days, and I hear that sometimes it takes a week to 10 days for seeds to sprout. Just some flowers. My friend Dave, my neighbor, he's trying to get some tomato plants growing in some big pots that are out there on the patio. This blade, like I said, it's getting a little bit tuggy. It's not horribly uncomfortable yet. And this razor is a little bit on the mild side. I would say it's just on the mild side a little bit from standard aggression. Some people might even consider this a standard aggression razor. Excuse me. Okay, now let's see. Do this. I'm still trying to figure this soap out. Yeah, I still, like I said, I feel some of that menthol, not a lot. Some cooling and a slightly different scent. But all I know is the lather and the protection seem to be pretty good. Slickness, I guess, is good enough too. Kind of hard to tell with this blade. Third use, and like I said, it'll probably be its last use. And I don't feel like changing horses in the middle of the stream, so to speak. The blade's not so bad that I feel like I absolutely have to change it out right now. It's a new old stock blade, like the razor. And I've gotten all kinds of different experiences, I think, with new old stock blades. Some seem very sharp and as nice as the day they were manufactured, and others I almost wonder if they get dull somehow over time. Excuse me. Also a good lather because I used my Sagrada Familia brush here, which is really good. It's probably one of my two most reliable brushes. And then recently off camera, I have also managed to get some soaps that I previously couldn't get to lather, either with this brush or just using different techniques, or maybe just having a bit of luck. Probably taking more time also to lather than I might do on a day or an evening when I'm making a video. So some of the reasons why in the recent past, very recent past, I've had, and in the distant past, by the way, I've had good, or actually better lathers off camera in many cases. Even this soap, because it's old, I bloomed it when I was in the shower, didn't have to soak the brush because it's a synthetic, and a really good synthetic brush. Yeah, I bloomed the soap, and then I lathered it for a full minute atop the scuttle with the warm water in it. Okay, I'm going to pause here again. I'll come back to you freshly lathered for that third pass against the grain. We'll do that third pass against the grain here. Yeah, even though I paid far more for it than it would have been if it were new and still being made, this soap, I'm glad that I purchased it. I was very curious. I wanted to try this out, and yeah, it is, excuse me, just the slightest bit different from the regular Williams soap, and I believe I can still sense some menthol in there. It's not overpowering by any means, but I don't think it's just my imagination either. I think I can still feel, and well, menthol doesn't have a smell, but a slightly different scent. It's very old soap, so, okay. Some of this old soap may not be as old as I originally thought it was, but it's still probably at least 30 to 40 years old, if not 50. But like I said, I know it was made in or after 1977 because of the Universal Pricing Code, the bar code, which was, if my memory serves me correctly, it was initiated here in this country around 1977. I think I remember that because I was looking at magazines at the supermarket when I was very young, and it was 1977, and I saw an issue of Mad magazine, the first or one of the first that would have had that barcode on it, and they were making little jokes about it. Excuse me again. And then anything in the United States that has a 5-digit zip code on the address for the company, if that's printed on the packaging, you'll know that was 1968 or after. They call it zip code. Originally, our postal codes, I believe they didn't go over 2 numbers. Like, well, you know, say you were writing to somebody in Chicago, you know, their address would be, you know, like 123 Oak Street, Chicago, Illinois, or actually it'd be Chicago, and then a, you know, 1 or 2 digit number like 27, Chicago 27, Illinois. And now, of course, with the zip code, we print that, you'd print that after Chicago and after Illinois. So 123 Oak Street, Chicago, Illinois, you know, I don't know, 50010 or whatever. Excuse me. I really didn't need to rinse this. I still had another clean side, but I was busy thinking about zip codes. Or postal codes. I don't know what number or numbers the actual zip codes around Chicago would start with, maybe 6 or something, because the first number of our zip codes going from the East Coast to the West Coast and on out to Alaska, Hawaii, the numbers get bigger so that by the time you're in the West Coast or in Alaska or Hawaii, they start with 9, and then they start with 0 back up in the Northeast, in New England, I guess. Well, I guess I did that, didn't I? Shaved the face, but I am going to come back freshly lathered for pickups. Okay, still from the lather that was in the bristles of the brush or on the brush, got this going on here, which does kind of defeat the purpose of the scuttle with the warm water in it, because if you don't go back to the scuttle, you don't get more warm lather, which is very nice in the wintertime. But being that it's spring here and not terribly cold, I guess I don't need for my face to be too warm right now. Pickup time, baby. Not my most comfortable shave, but certainly not the least comfortable. Certainly tolerable and still pleasant. And yes, the soap is making it pretty pleasant. I may have to Google something about menthol, see if menthol has an expiration date. Because the menthol I'm sensing in here is, I must admit, pretty light. It's pleasant enough, it's not unpleasant. And the soap is fine. Excuse me a second. Okay. I don't know if this will be the closest shave either, but it should be close enough for rock and roll, if you know what I mean. A darn fine shave, if not a baby bottom smooth shave. And I don't want to go too crazy, because here's where I sometimes give myself irritation trying to perfect, you know, trying to gild the lily, so to speak, trying to get the shave perfect or beyond perfect, which doesn't really make sense. I don't think there's anything other than maybe God that would be perfect and beyond, but on this plane of existence, perfect is just something we can aim for, and maybe it's like one of those numbers you can never quite get to in certain math equations or what have you. That's all I'm going to do. And it's so easy for me to, like I said, even in the last video, I think I mentioned, even when I used to use only cartridges or disposable razors, I could still overdo this and easily get irritation on my neck. Okay, well, let's see. I guess shave is done. Very nice. Yeah, DFS, I'd have to say. And I'd give it 4 out of 5. I'm going to pop out, pop back in. I'm going to rinse the razor, rinse the brush off, rinse my face. I'll come back with Mr. Towel, and then I'll do some recaps and putting the finishing touches on the shave here. Here he is. You know him, you love him, you can't get enough of him. It's our good friend, Mr. Towel. All right. Whew. Yes, sir, that's very nice. I'm enjoying this shave about as much as any other shave. All things considered, it's pretty nice. I rarely have a really bad shave, thank goodness. And the closest I have to a bad shave is usually on camera, oddly enough. Soaps I can't get to lather, or just in trying to mix it up and use a different brush every once in a while, I might pull out a brush that I've had either bad luck with or have had bad luck using it with certain soaps or whatever, and don't get that lather I would like. Anyway, I'm gonna reach into magic cabinet number 2 over here. I'm out of the Humphreys witch hazel. I've got some Thayers on order if they ever mail it, and Equate witch hazel, and I just got a little bit of that left too, the Walmart store brand. So, okay, get this going here. Got quite a bit there. Yes, until earlier this afternoon, I did not even know the difference, or had never really thought about the difference between an astringent and a toner. I knew what an astringent was. It's, well, like alcohol is an astringent. And the witch hazel that tends to be 14% alcohol, whether it's the kind you get at a big box store like Walmart, or whether it's Thayers or Humphreys or whatever, yeah, that if it's an astringent, it's going to either have some alcohol in it or something that will, maybe like lemon or something, that will tighten the skin, tighten the pores. The toner doesn't have the alcohol or other astringent in it. And I think maybe even the, well, I don't know for sure, I haven't purchased any yet, but the witch hazels that have lemon in them, I don't know if the lemon's real or just a lemon scent, and they may have alcohol for an astringent in those too, the ones that are astringent. Anyway, okay, did that, and let's see here, I'm going to reach over here for my, oh, and let me, before I go to my aftershave, let me do some of that recapping that I promised. First of all, off camera before the video here, I prep my face with the Village Barber shaving oil, and as you can see, that's getting low too. Okay, and then my razor has been this. It is a 3-piece, mostly Bakelite Simplex military razor. Only the metal, the cap is, well, I mean, only the top cap is metal, is what I'm trying to say. The rest of this is plastic or Bakelite. And in there, on its 3rd use, and flipped after the 2nd use, and it'll also be the final use for this, a Simplex double-edged blade, new old stock. And you can see what the other side of the little tuck looks like there. Okay, and my soap has been this, a new old stock vintage discontinued Williams Menthol Soap right there, which I had very good results with. There's the puck. It's a little lathery now. I guess I used my pretty scuttle here to lather in. And my brush I used, show this one more time, my Yaqi Sagrada Familia brush, 24 millimeters synthetic, very nice. Professional, it says in the small print. Very nice. And let's see, am I forgetting anything? I applied some of this, the Equate witch hazel, which is Walmart store brand. Okay. Now I believe I can reach over here and pull out what I'm going to use for aftershave, the Proraso green menthol and eucalyptus, which I've used it, but I always put it back in the box when I'm done with it. Set that aside. Here's what the bottle looks like. Pretty, very nice. I'll shake that up a little bit. I don't know if it needs shaking, but shake it, put a little bit in my hand. Try not to overdo it here, but I always tend to overdo things a little bit. Okay, I'll put a little on the wrists, a little behind the ears, on the temples, and maybe even on the back of the neck there. And here I go. I can feel a little sting already. Yeah, I'm feeling the burn, but it's nice. And a nice scent. I thought this might complement the Williams menthol. Okay, I'll wipe my hands off briefly, and I'll show you this bottle one more time. I'll put the lid back on it here. That's the Proraso green aftershave lotion, the menthol and eucalyptus. And finally, excuse me, I'm going to reach over here for the Dove Men Care post-shave balm, the Hydrate type, which I also keep in the box. And set the box aside. There's what the little deal looks like. And I'll even shake this a little bit. And pop open the cap, put just a little bit in my hand. Oh, I got plenty in there, but I'm having trouble. Yeah, there it is. And that's probably plenty right there. Set that aside. Get that really going there, and well, let's go ahead. I always thought that this balm does have a scent, but it seems to complement and even bring out other scents, and it seems like it makes them last longer for some reason. At least that's been my experience with this particular balm. And in a second here, I'll show you the bottle, or the container again, whatever you call that. Let's see, yeah. Somebody online in one of the shaving groups was saying that he, at least one person, maybe two, were saying they really like that, well, I'll just show it to you again. The Dove Men Plus Care, it is actually Men Plus Care post-shave balm, the Hydrate version. They have several versions of this. I guess they're all nice. This is the one I happened to pick up on eBay again, I believe it was. Okay, that's about it. Wow, nice shave. Nice being with you again. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've stuck it out this long. I'm running over here. I got to blast off, get out of here. We'll see you later, and thank you all. Peace.